Hey folks, welcome back to Oregon Living Television. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Brian Stabler. He is visiting us from the University of North Carolina, the School of Medicine at Chapel Hill. And welcome to the program, Doctor. Give my viewers an idea of what brought you here to Oregon.
I don't believe that anybody needs to keep one job all their life. And I've been a professor for 25 years. And I've always harbored the idea that I could be a film and television producer, which is a lot different to what I actually do. So I found you and your great company on the internet and gave you guys a call. And before I knew it, here I am.
Oh, it's so fun having you here. Now, the way that you came to us was through an organization out of Portland called Vocation Vacations. And this organization helps folks to set up opportunities to test drive their dream job. So since you are here learning about video production, we know where you're going, but let's talk about your role as a university professor of psychiatry and the many roles that you play.
Well, the major role that people like I play is to be a teacher of young doctors, and in my case, psychiatrists, to be able to see patients, and in my case specifically, patients who have pretty serious medical conditions, not just psychiatric conditions. And the third thing that I do is to do research, so that when we say we have a certain medicine or a certain approach to therapy, that we want someone to try, we know for sure that it actually does work because we've studied it carefully.
He has worked in so many different areas, including growth hormone studies.
Yes, short people. One of the things I started off doing was to study how we can help kids who aren't growing as fast as they should and are very, very short. So a long time in my career, I was working on the psychological effects of being short. And as you might imagine, short kids have a hard time. So I did a fair number of studies on that and was able to show that if you get growth hormone, you can grow physically, but you can also grow psychologically and spiritually. Doctors are now able to help kids who would have spent their lifetime being shorter than 4 feet, becoming at least normal in height.
I want to mention to my viewers that Dr. Stabler is also a Rotarian and originally came to this great country from England. Touch on that experience for those folks who might be thinking about venturing out or who have a son or a daughter who might be doing that.
I was lucky, but I was lucky back then years ago when I got this scholarship from the International Rotary Foundation, which undergraduates and graduates can apply for, and which can send you literally anywhere in the world to study any subject that might be of interest to you and maybe of value to your community or to your region or to your country. And currently Rotary has the largest single scholarship program anywhere in the world into the millions and millions of dollars. The way to get in touch with this program is either to go online and go to rotary.org or to contact a local Rotarian, and they are everywhere, including here in Cottage Grove.
Yes, there's a number of them in Cottage Grove, also a huge population of Rotarians in Eugene and throughout this great state of Oregon. And I think that once again, it's that whole philosophy of giving back that really makes this area and other areas terrific. It's the circle of love. What goes around comes around, and it is just wonderful to see it emulated in you being right here and teaching me and having the opportunity to visit with you.
It's a wonderful pleasure. It's a great honor to come and work with you, and to come for the first time to the magnificent state of Oregon. I cannot believe how beautiful this place is. And I know now why movie makers want to come here.
And we have talked about your role as a cancer survivor. You shared that with me. I'll share that with my viewers because there's many folks out there who are suffering and who are wondering and making decisions. And you have really persevered. You're a strong survivor. Speak to that role a little bit.
Well, being a survivor means essentially that you've learned how to deal with yourself, how to think about what's happening to you in a way that makes things positive when it might be very negative, how to look for resources and to rely on other people, and to have the grace, I call it grace, I think that's right, to have the grace of being a patient where you're willing and able to do anything and everything you need to do to survive.
What kind of words of encouragement would you give to a viewer who's at home who might be struggling with an illness?
Everything is possible. There isn't anything beyond the bounds of possibility. Now, if you listen to doctors like me talk sometimes, you'll hear them quote statistics, which have to do with probabilities, how probable something is, which is not the same thing as a possibility. I always believe that even when my doctors told me at one point in time, I had, I think it was, 25% chance of living 6 months. I couldn't accept that number, and I took it upon myself to get the best doctors I could find, to read the best books, to hear the best stories, to talk to people who'd had cancer like I had, and to reach out and get connected, both internally with myself and externally with family, friends, and good doctors.
Oh, those are fantastic words of encouragement. Now let's get back to your experience here in Oregon with vocation vacations, and you're adding to your career. And what are your goals, and how will you use video in your current position?
Well, I'm retiring from my job as a professor, and next month I'm going to Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, to start a program in documentary film studies, where I will be learning in an academic setting how to be what you are. But I felt it was really important before I did this that I come and see and be with a person who does the real work like you, and who does it every day and very successfully. And I've seen what you do, and I've heard what people say about what you do. So I think I'm getting a sort of a miniature internship here. And it's the best thing I could possibly imagine.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, tell me, through your experience, we've been on location shooting, you've been in the editing bay, you've seen the process, and you're already familiar with it because you have been already producing documentaries and interviewing many, many people. So what are a couple of the things that you'll be taking away from this experience through Oregon Living Television?
First of all, it's not as easy as it looks. It's a lot of hard work. So that I've realized now that if I'm going to put out a 28-minute piece that would be for television, kind of thing that people would see every day, I might spend 28 hours getting that ready. The second thing I've learned is that there's an awful lot of behind-the-scenes editing and management and technology. And the technology is getting so advanced now that even as we speak, we're on a very high-tech camera, right, set up here, being edited by your husband Dale in a very, very complex way, and with a wireless radio microphone like this, all of which it's hard to understand when you're just watching the screen. You don't see all that. That's what I've seen. I've seen that the tip of the iceberg is the actual visual show on television, but the big part of the iceberg is below our line of sight, and that's what I need to learn what to do.
I want to thank you for being here and choosing us through Vocation Vacations. And folks, if you would like to test drive your dream job, we are going to put the information up here so that you can contact this great organization. And it is the brainchild of Brian Kurth, and he actually lives in Portland. So Dr. Stabler came all the way from North Carolina to Oregon through an organization that, and isn't the internet just such a powerful medium?
It's everything you need to know at any time you need to know it.
Well, we're going to wrap it up right now. Again, I want to thank you, Dr. Stabler, and I want to invite my guests to stay tuned right here for more on Oregon Living Television Weekend.